Good morning. Glad you could join me. Welcome to another edition of MIW. Got the D-Man here, and I am glad you could join me today. Today, I was reading out of one of Neville's books. I think it's The Secret of Imagining, and I'm going to jump into that. I was really enjoying it, and I thought it may be helpful to you. No, I know it will be helpful to you. So here we go. If you will imagine yourself to be in Barbados, smash that like button, subscribe. Got a video coming out every day. Be open-minded. This will work if you work it. Okay, here we go. For real this time. If you will imagine yourself to be in Barbados, said he, thinking and viewing the world from the state of consciousness instead of thinking of Barbados, you will spend the winter there. You must not concern yourself with the ways and means of getting there, the how. Do not be concerned about the how. I hit myself in the head with a door. Don't worry about the how. For the state of consciousness of already being in Barbados, if occupied in your imagination, will devise the means best suited to realize it. Don't worry about the how. Just imagine yourself there. Now, you may get intuitive nudges to talk to someone, to do something, but it won't be from your thinking mind. It will be something that just pops into your head out of nowhere. It won't be something that comes to your mind usually while you're thinking about, how am I going to get there? Well, I could borrow the money. I could call and ask them to send me a ticket. No, imagine yourself there, and the ways and means will be presented to you somehow. But you have to be open-minded. He goes on to explain. Man lives by committing himself to invisible states, by infusing his imagination with what he knows to be other than himself. And in this union, he experiences the results of that fusion. No one can lose what he has. If it's yours, you can't lose it. It will be returned to you if it's taken, if it's lost, stolen, whatever. No one can lose what he has save by detachment from the state where the things experienced have their natural life. You must imagine yourself right into the state of your fulfilled desire, Abdullah told me, and fall asleep viewing the world from Barbados. So whatever you want or desire in life, when you fall asleep at night, think of yourself as already having or being that. Think from it. For example, let's say you want a Lamborghini. Go to sleep knowing and thinking as if that Lamborghini was down in your garage or parked in your driveway or wherever. Think of it that way. Don't think about how you're going to get it. You may think about how you got it. You may imagine how it came to you, but better just to think about it being there and have the feeling of owning that and driving it every day now. Think from as if it's already happened, because in your mind it has happened. And if you do this with enough emotion and continuously and persevere, it will come to pass in a way unknown to you, in a way you could never have imagined. The world which we describe from observation must be as we describe it relative to ourselves. Our imagination connects us with the state desired, but we must use imagination masterfully, not as an onlooker thinking of the end, but as a partaker thinking from the end. We must actually be there in imagination. If we do this, our subjective experience will be realized objectively. This is not mere fancy, said he, Abdullah, his teacher, but a truth you can prove by experience. His appeal to enter into the wish fulfilled was the secret of thinking from the end. He emphasizes from. Don't think of the end, think from it. There's a vast difference there. Thinking of it is thinking about it. Thinking from it is thinking as if you already have it. For example, whatever car or house you have now, when you think about that, you think from it as if you already have it, because you do. You have to do the same thing with the things you desire in your life that you can't see in the material world yet. Think from it, the same as you do everything you own right now, because everything you have today is something you wanted yesterday. I began right there and then, fixing my thoughts beyond the limit of sense, beyond that aspect to which my present state gave being, towards the feeling of already being in Barbados and viewing the world from that standpoint. He emphasized the importance of the state from which man views the world as he falls asleep. All the prophets claim that the voice of God is chiefly heard by man in his dreams. And here's a quote he uses out of the Bible. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon man, in slumbering upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instruction. Job 33:15-16. That night and for several nights thereafter, I fell asleep in the assumption that I was in my father's house in Barbados. Now realize he wasn't in his father's house physically, but he fell asleep in his mind, in his imagination, as if he were in his father's house in Barbados. Within a month, I received a letter from my brother saying that he had a strong desire to have the family together at Christmas, and asking me to use the enclosed steamship ticket for Barbados. I sailed 2 days after I received my brother's letter and spent a wonderful winter in Barbados. Coincidence? That's what happens sometimes. We visualize this and we emotionalize it and we think from it. And then when it comes to pass, it comes to pass so naturally that we think, oh, it would have happened anyway. And we discard it. We discard this gift, this ability, this skill that we all have. We are all creating with our imagination, but most of us by default, not intentionally. We're too busy looking at the world and the media and everything that's going on out there instead of what's going on in here. This is what is important, not that out there. Out there is a reflection of the group consciousness, of your consciousness, of what's going on within the minds of men. It's been created within. Now it's manifesting without. The experience has convinced me that man can be anything he pleases if he will make the conception habitual and think from the end. It has also shown me that I can no longer excuse myself by placing the blame on the world of external things. That my good and my evil have no dependency except from myself. That it depends on the state from which I view the world, how things present themselves. Man who is free in his choice, man has free will, acts from conceptions which he freely, though not always wisely, chooses. All conceivable states are awaiting our choice. Many mansions and occupancy, but no amount of rationalizing will of itself yield us the state of consciousness, which is the only thing worth having. The imaginative image is the only thing to seek. The ultimate purpose of imagination is to create in us the Spirit of Jesus, which is continual forgiveness of sin, continual identification of man with his ideal. Only by identifying ourselves with our aim can we forgive ourselves for having missed it. All else is labor in vain. On this path to whatever place or state we convey our imagination, to that place or state we will gravitate physically. So what he's saying here is sin, in the respect he's using it, is a mistake. You have mistakenly used the gift of God, if you so choose to look at it that way. You have mistakenly used that to create in your life what you don't want instead of what you want. You have used it incorrectly. You have sinned. Anything that you brought into your life, you have used your imagination, your mind, your thoughts, your inner vocabulary to create it. And if it's something you don't like, then you have mistakenly used that power of imagination. You've sinned. You've missed the mark. You've made a mistake. Now, if there's a hell you're going to, you have created it here on earth. Your heaven is within you. Your hell is also within you. He quotes a Bible verse here, but I missed it on the last page. Let me back up here and see. Okay. In my Father's house are many mansions, states of consciousness. I put that in there. He doesn't say that, but he talks about that later. If it were not so, I would have told you, I go prepare a place for you. Whoops, wrong way. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also. By sleeping in my Father's house in my imagination, as though I slept there in the flesh, I fused imagination with that state and was compelled to experience that state in the flesh also, in the outer world of manifestation. So vivid was that state to me, I could have been seen in my Father's house had any sensitive entered the room where in imagination I was sleeping. A man can be seen where in imagination he is, for a man must be where his imagination is, for his imagination is himself. This I know from experience, for I have been seen by a few to whom I desired to be seen, when physically I was hundreds of miles away. I have never experienced that, but I have read and heard about people experiencing that. I believe that to be true. Just my opinion. Truth is stranger than fiction. I, by the intensity of my imagination and imagining and feeling myself to be in Barbados, instead of merely thinking of Barbados. Very important point, from and of. Distinguish the difference between the two of those. Had spanned the vast Atlantic to influence my brother into desiring my presence to complete the family circle at Christmas. Thinking from the end, from the feeling of my wish fulfilled as if it had already passed or happened, was the source of everything that happened as outer cause, such as my brother's impulse to send me a steamship ticket. And it was also the cause of everything that appeared as results. I'm going to stop there because I have to go give a bid on a job. Smash that like button, subscribe. If you're watching on Instagram, leave a comment in the comments section. Thanks for joining me. And if you'd like to get my help personally, you can contact me at marksinspirationalguidance@gmail.com. I think that's in the bio on Instagram and on my page on YouTube. So have a great day. Ponder what I've told you today. This is very important and it works. Have a great day.